With the recent developments going on in Dragon Ball Super thus far, people have been wondering what the future may hold for both Pan and Oob. Today, guys, I am joined by Geekless TV, my good friend MJ, as we talk about the possible future and the outcome of both Oob and Pan. Now, Mr. MJ, going into Dragon Ball Super episode 43, we get to see Pan. She's going to be there. She's going to have her own little episode per se. And before we begin, guys, and go any further, this episode and this review and this video will contain lots and lots of spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen Dragon Ball Super episode 42, simply tune out and come back. So, Mr. MJ, we had conversations go about with Goku and Vegeta about Oob prior to the Universal Tournament happening. We see Pan's coming back. I wanted to know your overall thoughts as to what the future may hold for both Pan and Oob, because Oob was referenced a few episodes ago before the tournament began, as I said. And now that Pan's coming into fruition, what are your overall thoughts on these two specific characters and what the future may hold for them going into this, series? Because for me personally, I think that we just might have a glimpse to who and what Oob is before the World Martial Arts Tournament. I mean, then again, that's judging based off of if they're going to tell the story before the the martial arts tournament or after. But I definitely think that Oob is going to make a debut at some given point during this series. As for Pan, she's going to be a baby, but for how long is the question. So what do you think the future holds for both Pan and Oob?
Well, the honest answer is it depends on how much money they make and how far they want to push the series. But I mean, you saw the preview, right, in episode 42 to 43. Pan looks like a badass as a kid. She's a baby.
She's powering up.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, I mean, right there, that's like comedy gold in my opinion. I know some people may not like it, but that's gold. That's comedy right there. To have Pilaf and them, I don't know, kidnap Pan. That's comedy right there.
Or at least
but
attempt to, because towards the end she's powering up, and I was like, oh my, that's badassery. Already thus far as a baby, she seems more of a badass than her GT protege. Now some people may not like that. Some people might say, what are you talking about, man? And Pan and GT was awesome, because believe it or not, some people do still prefer Dragon Ball GT over Dragon Ball Super. A perfect example of that is my friend Malik, to where he said the consistencies are more accurate in GT than Super. But already we have Pan being shown. She's powering up. She's having, some fun with Pilaf and stuff. How do you think her character is going to be portrayed as the series continues? Because something that doesn't really make sense to me, and I'm sure it bothers a lot of other people, is the fact that we have Goten and Trunks still as kids, right? So,
yeah.
Do you believe that Goten and Trunks and Pan are going to remain in the same state that they're in currently? Or do you believe that towards the end, at least, of the series, we're going to have somewhat of a older Pan, possibly as a child, or maybe a teenage Goten and Trunks? Because these characters are very important to the series. So, Where do you see Pan's development go on here, especially after this episode coming up?
It's hard to say, but if I had to guess, Pan will age, and I believe Goten and Trunks will too. I don't believe we're gonna see the Goten and Trunks that we saw at the end of Z, that we the
really
tournament.
Why?
But I just believe that they're gonna cap it off at around, what are they, 11 right now, or 10?
I'd say 10-ish.
10. So I think they'll cap it off when they're 13 or 14, in my opinion. I think that's where it's gonna end, because I know Toei does not want to go to that Oob section of the show because of the
that's interesting. You're saying that they're gonna end it off before everything. All right, so so what does that mean for Oob then?
There's gonna leave it as that we just gotta see Oob at the end of Z. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna see him in Super.
So you're saying that the Dragon Ball Z ending with Goku and Oob is still gonna stand as?
I think so.
Man.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about if they would retcon it, would they rewrite it?
Do you think so?
I mean, obviously, one big difference already is that Vegeta seemed legitimately shocked in the end of Z when Goku told him there was an Earthling. But why would he be shocked if he already knows that Boo's been reincarnated? It's
and the fact that you fought gods, you fought beings from different universes. Presumably, if you're doing this Omniverse tournament before or after, you fought Hit. I mean, come on, it shouldn't come as a surprise. But then again, he did say Earthling, so I'm pretty sure that the surprise came to Vegeta as, wow, there's an Earthling that's almost as strong as what you're saying is Kid Buu or whatever.
But not only to that, but it's when you look at Vegeta, he was he went from had his arms crossed, leaning against the building to my God, he's getting stronger and stronger as he fights. It's Goku and Vegeta are already stronger. I believe. I know people might disagree with me, but I already believe they're stronger than Buhan in their basis.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I don't think that
So
there's any reason to hide that.
so it's like, how would Oob be able to even like? Why would Vegeta be surprised about that? Vegeta would just be like, huh, he's getting stronger, huh? It's like, why would he be surprised that, oh, he's progressing? I don't see Oob being stronger than even Kid Buu at that point in time without any sort of Goku training or training from anybody, you know?
No,
He just,
absolutely not.
so
No.
there's a lot of problems that Super caused with that ending, but I don't think they're gonna touch it, bro. I mean, they might be afraid to, like, to get into that whole area. I mean,
But
but
I don't really think there's a reason for them to be afraid of that, because if you look at what may come out of this, especially with Oob, right? Because if Goku is really going to take Oob under his wing and train him, I mean, what a mentor, right? Like, having Goku,
yeah,
who's competed in this tournament, who's a god, who has all these abilities, like, that would make for a very, very strong student. So, I personally believe that Oob will be shown, depending on whether or not we see him working in his village. Because remember, like, at the World Martial Arts Tournament, when, you know, Oob was talking to himself and he was like, I have to, you know, avenge my mom, and all my
yeah,
villagers, because he's poor, he has to work hard and stuff. So maybe we'll get to see a shot of, you know, just them flying by and Goku happening to notice a kid who's working extra hard, you know, just having to, you
yeah.
know, cater to his village. And then, you know, right before he loses track of what he's doing, he goes back to what he's doing. But I think that there's going to be a lot of foreshadowing behind Oob, because Oob is an important character. Whether or not people want to say he is or not, he is.